that question, I would say the problem is mainly we cannot change our geographical location. So what we have to do is basically to invest to build up the resilience of our society and our ecosystem, I think.
Okay, thank you, Dr. Saab. Thank you very much. Uh, before I'm coming to ask the same question to Adil Saab, hence, recently we have started the climate course, climate change in Karachi, and one of the school we are doing it, and purposely, I've invited 10 teachers and 10 students, and that's how we made this mix, right? So after three lectures, and of course you are the boss of the show. So what do you think about the how the children are responding, the kids, how they are responding, and what do you think their approach and and their comment which they gave on every lecture? Yeah, Hans, your comment please.
Well, first of all, I must say that I'm very pleased that we finally, after lots of work and lots of hurdles on the road to the starting point, finally have gotten started with this course. And it was, I had my expectations in the outset was that this would be a web-based course, meaning Zoom learning or some other e-learning platform. But what is happening is that we actually have a class together in a classroom in, what's the name of the school, do you know?
It's meritorious.
Yes, and I and my colleagues from World Climate School Norway, we are in a way managing the process from here. It's so amazing sitting here in Norway and having dialogue with people working in groups under our instructions in a classroom in Pakistan. It's just amazing that it can work, and I'm very happy for it. Even more so, we had some starting difficulties the first time, some miscommunications, some unclarities, meaning that actually we first got this show up really running here yesterday. And I can just say a few of the words about the motivation. We asked them about their feelings about this at the outset. And wait a second, I'll find it. I have it somewhere. Yeah, it's here. It was typically the feelings of the students were enthusiasm, curiosity, anxiety, stress, eagerness, happiness to be part of this, eager to learn more, and very, very enthusiastic, most of them. So I must say, and that was based on the fact that they had seen a 1 hour and 20-minute starting lecture introducing the whole program and introducing, giving an overview of what the challenges of climate change were and how they could contribute to the solutions. They're so passionate about it, and we have prepared some more lectures altogether. We have 12 modules, and I'm positive with this start. I'm positive the motivation will be even more powerful as we go along, because the content of the modules is very very rich in knowledge and very rich in motivational approaches to this subject. So
Okay,
yeah.
Yeah, thank you, Hans. Honestly, I'm also, having a good time having this session. Try, and also, we all are learning, because it's a new and dry subject where most people says. So, very quickly, Hans, your comment. When the people say is a dry subject, and where we have this glacier and rain and everything which is wet. So why they think it's a dry subject? Your comment, Hans.
No, well, you could have, I mean, this is a word that can be interpreted in many ways. If I started quoting scientific journals or statistics and so forth, it would be very dry, in the sense boring. But what we experience here is that we have managed to make this so-called dry subject very vivid and very inspiring. So yes, there's a lot of drought and there's a lot of flooding, but also on the emotional side.
Okay. Yes, thank you, Hans. Now, Rahim Khan, you know, I was, the similar question to you, about the climate change and the challenges. So, your comment, how you, yeah, Rahim, can you hear me? Yeah, Rahim Khan. Hello, Rahim, can you hear me?
Do you mean me?
Yes, yes. Well, I keep using Khan because there's so many Khan. Yeah,
Oh,
Rahim Fatma. Yeah,
you
my
got my
apology.
name wrong because
No. It's my apology. My
yeah,
apology.
yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. So, Rahim,
Oh, no problem. It's just that I
no,
didn't
no.
recognize my own name.
Oh,
That's
it's
it.
no. It's my fault. I really apologize
Yeah.
for that. Yeah. The same question to you. The climate change and the challenges and the civil society. Your comment, please.
I feel like climate change nowadays, there is a lot of people that are now, there's people that are now pretty much aware, many people, that too, in a very urbanized areas, that now that they know that there's, climate change happening, and there's going to be climate change, and this is going to, increase over the period of time, and how this is going to affect, now that is taught in geography classes, that is taught. And frankly, I feel like Instagram has played the most part in this, because many influencers are just influencers, because they post about the fact that climate change is happening, and how much emission do we have, and scientific facts, and many people want to know about it. And this is exactly why they're celebrities. Now I feel like climate change, we do now start to feel it a bit, because this time I feel like, I don't know, maybe I felt it, but the winters were very early. Now I don't think so, that's what I felt. But there's small changes, and even if we do not, like, somebody here was saying that we do not have much emission, we don't have much CO2 emission. But the point is, even if we do not have the emission, the thing is that we need to change our ways. We need to, if now we're a family of four, right? Me, my brother, my mom and dad. Many people have slightly bigger families. Now, having maybe even using public transport, or having your own car, just keeping things in perspective as to what I want to achieve by the end of the day, and keeping things in perspective as in climate change. Because I feel like many people, and even I at some point was like that, not gonna lie, that there's like so many, there's like billions of people on earth. So what if, like, I go on and I be a bit like, carefree, and nothing would happen, because there's so many individuals out there. There are probably individuals that have, many people that have a very keen interest in having a good collection of cars or private jets. People have money, people have a lot of money these days, perhaps way too much. But the thing is that we need to understand that all of us, to understand our individuality, and also in interesting with, bonded with the fact that we need to stand up on our own for a thing that is important. Now I feel like there's a lot of, especially in Pakistan, there's a lot of startups that are coming up, that are, pitching something that will be helpful to the environment. And now that I talk about the millennials or the Gen Z, now people are, feeling cool about the fact, and they feel very proud of themselves, that they're posting about and they're advocating about how much a leatherback turtle would go through their in their lives. But I feel like it is important for us to yet not just advocate or not just talk about the fact that oh no, people are doing nothing, this nation will fail. Because I have heard it so many times from so many people, nothing can happen in Pakistan, nothing can happen. People of Pakistan, they can do nothing about Pakistan. Pakistani people, and there's so many things, and there's so many at times people that we surround ourselves around, with that by hearing this again and again, we just get into the mindset of the fact that, oh my God, we can't do anything. The nation can't go anywhere. So you know what? Let's just chill and do nothing, right? So I feel like the millennials and my generation, I'm proud to say, because I'm 13, so they are making a change, and I'm really happy.
Okay. Thank you, Rahim, Fatma. Thank you very much. And once again, I really apologize for pronouncing your name again. Really sorry about that. Yes, Dr. Tahir, you know, I know, you living in Germany and you living, and we in Pakistan. We have a different, everything is different, right? So when I say everything is different, so how you see and do you think we can are we going on the right direction to addressing the climate change?
Yes and no. Yes, I
Great.
think to some extent that we have now directionality. The policies are going into that direction, but we are making lot out of that, just putting the policies in place, and we think that we have achieved everything. So like in last few months ago, that there was a lot of talk about that Pakistan has already achieved this SDGs 13 targets 10 years before, blah blah blah. But what exactly is this SDGs 13? What is the contribution of Pakistan in that? What we did for that? So only indicator that we included from Pakistan was this the death rate of people in case of disasters, like 100,000, how many people died. So this is the only indicator that we have included it in this, and all the other indicators are mainly from the donor agencies, countries and stuff like this. So, but other than that, anyway, so I'm not here to criticize much, but I think in general, I would say there are a lot of policies, lot of things are being done in a short period of time. But what I feel really missing is monitoring and evaluation when we talk about civil society. Role of civil society is not to get money for these smaller projects and here and there, do some NGOs like or CSOs, like getting a little share of that money and do some work. Our thing should be having a very close eye. What is the money coming from, where it is invested, what has been done, and what has changed. So I was just reading, last night or 2 days ago, there's a called CSO in Germany, which is called Watch 2030. So it is keeping an eye on every indicator and every SDGs that Germany has so far achieved. And I was seeing that such a disparity, what government claims and what that agency or CSO or that what called civil society organization is claiming. So in on first poverty SDGs, German says that we have 100% and they said 40%. So it's such a gap in a very developed country. And what we see in Pakistan, we always believe on the numbers that the government agencies gives us. We have, I think, I'm not aware of if some civil society organization doing some work on the data collection. So far, even our government is not collecting data. I was looking into the climate tracker.com something. That's a basically very nice thing. And SDGs tracker, we have no data coming from Pakistan. I think what I heard that Pakistan has recently established some data center somewhere in parliament or somewhere, I don't know. So they will start putting up the data. But what I feel that those numbers are so many times are fudged. So
Right.
civil society should basically look on those numbers, try to keep an eye on it. And I think that should be the important role. But maybe if with this, to that point, I would finish, and then maybe I will add later something.
Thank you, Dr. Saab. Thank you. You're very rightly said, but sometimes I really, because I'm also very new to this subject, and I'm try to learn, but I really get confused when someone claims that they have achieved certain targets where it says sustainable. Sustainable means it has to go forever. That's a sustainable. And when you say you have completed, so I really get confused what they mean. They have completed, because it's not some project you have to finish and just wrap it off. No, it will go. So anyway, that's a, yeah, that's a, so before going to again, Adil Saab, you have a two question. The one, the $1 million question, I will ask at the end. But can you comment what Dr. Tai just said about the data? We are not collecting data, or we don't have enough data. What's your comment on that?
Thank you, Jana Saab. First of all, I would second Dr. Tahir Saab on your first question regarding we are being penalized by the others and why we are being penalized. It is nothing like we are penalized. It is just because we have never developed a shield. It is same like if my neighbor has got 10 child and they are making noise, and we are not closing our windows, and we are just saying that, oh, we are just being penalized. So it is our fault that we have to be ready, especially in this era, once we have a lot of communication and we know everything well before time that this is happening. And probably in the end of the question, I will be telling you about this, that how we can go about it. And the second thing, the second part which you asked me about right now, that the data. I don't know why we are not developing something systematically. We have discussed in one of the webinar in the SDGs, that data nowadays, with so much of computerization and so much of Excel and so much of SAP and all these softwares, if we just try to have data available from all the places directly to one place, or maybe through some data centers, it is not that difficult, I think. But because of maybe geopolitical requirements, maybe because of just to show ourselves good, we are just manipulating these data. So creating data center, creating data, getting data is not a problem. If we can get a data that how many people are viewing a YouTube video from all over the world, can't we create a data that what is happening all over the world, maybe in one department, maybe somewhere else? Like if I talk about my department, my fisheries department, or maybe I can talk about the maritime department, we have 3 ports only. And these 3 ports are not interlinked with the data center. We cannot send our data to any place. It doesn't look good to say about my port, but even in the port,
you very rightly said, and I think it's just is a perfect time to welcome and to invite Ammar Jafri. He's the father of everything what we are doing. He's our mentor, and he gave all those ideas. So Jafri Saab, you put up on in this tricky situation where Dr. Tahir said we don't have data, and which is Adil Saab also seconded. So your comment, please.
Okay, let me first come in the light. Okay, just a minute. Thank you very much, Jina Saab. Now, actually, initially we used to collect data. Now data is coming to us. This is a basic difference. Initially, we used to collect data through forms, through surveys. There are 2 ways of getting data. One is pull and one is push. Now data is being pushed by a number of devices. Now it's a judgment call that do we understand that how we can get data? If anybody visits a shopping mall, the data is available, because if there's a camera there and the facial recognition is there, so data is available that this person visited this shop. And if that person is using some app, which is some sort of a shopping app and linked with that shopping mall, so that now it's more available that where this person has gone. Now, if the person has a credit card and he charges the credit card, so whatever I'm trying to say is that data is available. Now, the big question is why we are not collecting data, or what are the problems or impediments in data collection. Data collection is an organic process. We have to first think about that who will be the user of the data. What will be the front end users? What will be the back end management organizations? This all boils down when we think about the schema of the data. I think in developing countries it's a big challenge, and in Pakistan also it's a big challenge. Now, if we take the example of SDGs, yes, data is being collected, but it is being collected in isolation. It is being collected by the federal government, by the provincial governments, by the NGOs, by the international organizations. There's a need for creating synergies between all these efforts. That's why SDG Academy is working on a database, and we are trying to reach at the last mile. I think in Pakistan, the last mile is a village, but above that village, there is something called UC, Union Council. So Union Council has an entity, it's a government entity, where there's a councillor there. So we are planning to go up to the Union Council level. But again, the big challenge would be when we will have the database, how to feed the data into it. There are two ways of doing it. Either we employ people to approach people and then feed data. That will be very, very tiresome process. We intend to go on the model of Wikipedia, in which the data was collected based on the fusion of data. That somebody wants to tell others what I'm doing it, then you give 3 months for the validity of the data. And if there's some criticism or there are some challenges, then you put a red flag on the data that is not authentic. And if the person pushes the data along with documentary proofs like pictures, like evidences, like some government letters, then it is some extent it is reliable. So I think it's a big challenge, Inasa, and let the other speakers speak also on the topic. Then maybe in the end I will be able to comment more on the information which is being discussed here. Thank you, Inasa. Thank you very much.
Thank you, sir. Thank you very much. Now,
just one comment on the same. Sir, you rightly said the use of data is the most important part. And I think we are into 2020, rather we can say we are now in 2021. The three things which I feel like that the use of data can only be good if this data is available openly. That data is presently, maybe if it is a good data, it is available in isolation with the ministry. We can put it on the internet and let the student, let the universities, let the kids, let them see the data and let them work on that data. Because how to work on data is number of, means hundred and 1,000 ways in which you can take out the benefits of a data. So I would request if we can say this thing to the, because in Pakistan, really, you cannot find data for anything. Because I've been teaching in Berry University, and I've been the supervisor for a number of researches. And when we go for the research for anything in Pakistan, literally we are totally blind about the data. We do not have a data about anything. So I think for SDGs, if we can ask somebody that all the data which is regarding SDGs, we can just put it on the internet, easily available to, especially to the student, then probably we can find out more and more ways and good ways to find out good ideas and good results of that data. Secondly, I think we have the best NIC system.
Thank you. Excellent idea you give. It's again, the second time using this word is a perfect time to invite Zishan Rizvi, because we are doing this program and only the people we invite, they get connected. Now the Zishan Rizvi, working on the probably the first web radio of Karachi, of Pakistan, I should say. So Zishan, are you there? And that that radio going to be air very soon. So probably yes, Zishan, could you just say अच्छा मैं चाहूंगा कि ये क्योंकि बहुत सारे लोगों को इस ये मैसेज आना चाहिए. So hence I'm going to use my own language for a while because I want many people to understand what we are talking about. तो दिशान साहब बताइएगा ये वेब रेडियो क्या है और इसका ये कब शुरू हो रहा है और इसमें क्लाइमेट चेंज और SDGs कैसे पार्टिसिपेट कर सकता है? दिशान साहब.
थैंक यू वेरी मच जिना साहब. इसमें इस तरह से है कि देखिए वेब रेडियो जो है ये पिछले कुछ नहीं तो लास्ट 10 ईयर से हम लोग इसको सोच रहे थे करने के लिए. पाकिस्तान में वेब रेडियो हैं, काफ़ी सारे मौजूद हैं इस वक्त, लेकिन उस तरीके से नहीं है जिस तरीके से होने चाहिए. प्रॉपर कोई भी इसके ऊपर वर्किंग नहीं कर रहा है सिवाय इसके कि बैक टू बैक म्यूजिक है और बस, इससे ज़्यादा कुछ नहीं है. बट हम इसको जो है लेकर के आ रहे हैं, उसमें इस तरह से है कि चूंकि ये वेब रेडियो है, दुनिया के किसी कोने में भी आप इसको बैठ के ट्यून कर सकते हैं. I mean, इसको लिंक करें, क्लिक करें और सुन सकते हैं आप इसको. तो यहाँ पे हमने जो है अपने जो MJs हैं, जिसको हम म्यूजिक जॉकी बोलते हैं, वो हमने इसी तरह से दुनिया के डिफरेंट कंट्रीज से लिए हैं. जैसे हमने UK से लिए हुए हैं, हमने USA से लिए हुए हैं, हमारे पास एक UAE से है यानी यूनाइटेड अरब एमिरेट से है, और ऑस्ट्रेलिया से भी इंशाल्लाह करीब बात हो रही है, वो भी हो जाएगा. तो इस तरह से हम एक पूरा एक यू कैन से एक ग्लोब की शक्ल में आना चाहते हैं कि हर आदमी अपने एरिया को रिप्रेजेंट करे, ठीक है, और हमको पता चले, स्पेशली हम जो पाकिस्तानी हैं, हम लोगों को पता चले कि दुनिया में क्या हो रहा है और एक दूसरे से और करीब आ सकें. क्योंकि अभी आपको पता है कि इस वक्त दुनिया जो है सिर्फ एक आपके सिंगल टिप के ऊपर मौजूद है वो. तो इसमें क्लाइमेट के लिए बिल्कुल बात हो सकती है. इसके ऊपर सबसे पहले तो ये है कि मैंने आपको पहले भी ऑफर की हुई थी जिना साहब कि आपके जिस तरह से प्रोग्राम्स होते हैं, स्पेशली जैसे जूम पे मीटिंग्स आपकी चल रही होती हैं, हम इसको लाइव कनेक्ट कर सकते हैं अपने रेडियो से. और अभी इस वक्त आप एक लिमिटेड एक्सेस है, यानी कि लिमिटेड 25 लोग होंगे, 50 लोग होंगे, 100 होंगे, आई थिंक इससे ज्यादा नहीं होंगे. बट जब आप लाइव इसको रेडियो पे थ्रू करेंगे तो दुनिया में कहीं भी आपको सुना जा सकेगा, और आपकी जो कह लें कि आपकी आवाज है या जो आप कुछ कहना चाह रहे हैं या कुछ आप सुनना चाह रहे हैं, तो वो आपको वहां से मिल सकेगी बआसानी. होपफुली कोशिश ये है कि हम आपको ज्यादा से ज्यादा टाइम दें. और कब इसको स्टार्ट कर रहे हैं? जी इंशाल्लाह कल हमारा बिल्कुल प्लान है. पाकिस्तान के वक्त के मुताबिक ऑलमोस्ट कोई 8 साढ़े 8 बजे यानी ईशा के बाद इसको हम लॉन्च करेंगे. सॉफ्ट लॉन्च होगी हमारी ये, उसके बाद फिर हम इंशाल्लाह इसको प्रॉपर तरीके से विद द हेल्प ऑफ
नाम रेडियो का नाम जरा बता दें हमारे लिसनर्स को.
रेडियो का नाम जो मैंने है वो है लाइफस्टाइल रेडियो .online. LIFESTYLE radio .online ONLINE. तो ये आप बिल्कुल अपने प्लेटफॉर्म से जिना साहब इसको प्रमोट करें और आपके लिए हम हाजिर हैं. बिल्कुल टाइम मौजूद है.
मैंने एक सवाल करना था आपसे. ये बताइए, एक कॉन्सेप्ट है बाहर के में कम्युनिटी रेडियो का.
जी.
एंड कम्युनिटी रेडियो एक्चुअली व्हाट यू डू इज you engage a community and that in a radius of let's say 5 miles this limited radio transmit only things relevant to this community. So do you have any thought process about it?
About
community radio.
हाँ, देखिए इसमें जैसे कि मैं पहले इनको सारा ब्रीफ कर चुका हूँ जिना साहब को कि इसमें कम्युनिटी बेस भी जा सकते हैं. लेकिन ये कि देखें अभी हम जो इस वक्त आए हैं इस रेडियो को लेकर के, ये हम चाह रहे हैं कि और जो हमारे स्पेशली जो पड़ोसी ममालिक वगैरह हैं उनको हम किसी तरह से बीट कर सकें, बिकॉज वो हर जगह हैं. अभी इस वक्त देखें ये मैनचेस्टर की यूके की बात करूं मैं, तो यूके में सिर्फ मैनचेस्टर में एक रेडियो है सनराइज के नाम से, और वहां पे कभी भी इनको लाइसेंस वगैरह नहीं मिलता एशियंस को. वो एक इनको मिला था, उसके बाद फिर अब कोशिश कर रहे हैं तो नहीं हो पा रहा काफी अरसे से. तो हम इसी को लेके चल रहे हैं और यू कैन से कि कम्युनिटी को ही हम इंशाल्लाह हेड करेंगे और इसको लेके चलेंगे. और बाकी एम ए जिना साहब हैं, आप लोग और एडवाइस दें, मुझे सजेशन दें, और इसमें बेहतरी आ सकती है और कुछ भी हम कर सकते हैं. बेशक
ये बताइए, आप कल जब लॉन्च करेंगे तो मैं जरूर जानना चाहूंगा उसके बारे में, क्योंकि परसों हमारी सुबह को एक वेबिनार है और वो है इत्तफाक से बी फार्मिंग के ऊपर, और वो शायद मक्की की उसके ऊपर ना. तो अगर
Okay.
आप उसमें लॉक करेंगे हमें, तो वो संडे को सुबह 10 बजे है। बी फार्मिंग।
अच्छा, सॉरी, आपका नाम जान सकता हूँ सर मैं?
अमर जाफरी।
उमर जाफरी सर। अमर जाफरी साहब, इसके लिए देखें, जो भी आप लोग हैं ना, ये आप जिन्ना साहब से बिल्कुल राब्ते में रहें। जिन्ना साहब को मैंने सारी चीजें बताई हुई हैं, और जिन्ना साहब ही हमको इस फील्ड में लेके आगे बढ़ेंगे। जितने भी
बिल्कुल
आपके
ठीक।
इश्यूज हैं, जितनी भी सारी
क्योंकि
चीजें,
मैं बताता हूँ, जो बी फार्मिंग है ना, दैट इज SDG 13, क्योंकि बीज जो है वो इको सिस्टम को मेंटेन कर रही है। चलिए मैं जैसे से बात कर लूंगा। मैं ऐसे कहता है कि क्योंकि आप कल रात को इसका इफ्तार कर रहे हैं, तो परसों इत्तेफाक से हमारा फंक्शन है संडे को। मुझे नहीं पता मॉडरेट्स क्या होगी। ये तो बड़ा सिंपल है। इसमें तो आपने जूम लिंक बनाया और दिया, लोगों ने ज्वाइन कर लिया या लाइव कर दिया आपने स्ट्रीम यार्ड या फेसबुक पे। वो आपका वेब वीडियो कैसे काम करेगा, ज़ाहिर है आपकी वेबसाइट बताइए आपने, उसको मैं देखूंगा जरा, गेट बैक। ठीक है, बहुत शुक्रिया। ओवर टू
Thank you,
जिन्ना
sir.
साहब।
Thank you, sir.
थैंक
Thank
यू,
you,
थैंक
Zishan
यू,
sir.
थैंक यू, अल्लाह हाफिज।
Thank you. Now, Inga, are you there? Inga, she's there or not? She was here. All right. So we have a new person, the Amna Azim. Can you please introduce yourself?
Hello, do you hear me?
Yes, yes, we do.
Yes, hello everyone. I am Amna, an urban planner, and my work is mostly focused on cities and SDG 11, sustainable cities and communities. So we know that most of urbanization and our cities are a major contribution towards CO2 emissions through industries, transport, and our urban design. So my particular focus of work is how we can use urban design to reduce effects of basically urban effects that are caused by these harmful effects of urban planning and design. How we can use these designs to reduce climate action, climate impact of urbanization. So we are going to launch a course on SDG 11, in which this will be an introductory training on SDG 11 with experts from different urban professionals. So we're looking forward to it. Thank you.
Yeah, thank you, Amna. And please do invite us, and please do invite me. I really like to attend this the course
Sure.
you are doing, because as they say, you learn every day, and we got a lot to catch. Yes, Inga.
Amna, yes, I'd like to talk to Amna.
Sure,
Amna,
sure.
please get back to us, because we are working very closely with number of international organizations on SDG 11, which you're talking about, more sustainable cities. So please drop your email to Jinnah Sahab. I'll get back to him, and definitely will I talk to him, right? Okay,
Yes.
thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you, sir. Thank you, Amna. Yes, Inga. First of all, kindly comment, the 3 lectures we had so far. So your comment, how we are doing good, we are doing bad, and how the students are responding. Your comment, please.
Okay, you want me to give a lecture on the World Climate School? Yes. As I'm here together with Hans Jørgen Rasmussen, I'd like to comment on the World Climate School and the progress. Absolutely. I also have prepared. I can because I have prepared, because I like to use PowerPoint, because that the metaphors. Maybe are you able to make me share, Gina? You want me to comment only?
Yes, comment please.
Because when we talk about, when we call, okay.
Yeah, please. You want to show something?
Ingrid, you can show the PPT. That's better.
Okay, sure. Yes, Inga, you can do it now. You can share. You can show your presentation.
Yeah, I think most of the time when we talk about complex issues, I think we have to use metaphor and a way to explain what we think. And with the green footprint and how to train the teachers to teachers program. So now we just kick off, and we had module 1, 2 together. And it's a multi-level educational project with physical students in the room and Hans and myself on a distance. So we've been just working a support structure on YouTube. It's open and accessible for everyone. And then we're having a very emotional dialogue with the students. And what we did, we're also saying that we have to have projects in local community. So we're working on a multi-stakeholder approach and starting from home. And at home, you can do many things. So this is the flower. So we work about generic learning culture, climate science, which is very, very deeply presented by the 400 films that Hans has been collected over the years. So it's free, accessible to everyone in the course and in the global Teachers to Teachers program. And then there is one important thing. It's psychology and wellness, number 3, and happiness, how we can build thriving communities. But because Hans, as a psychologist, he has the skills that people have to express emotions. And to train that in smaller group and bigger group, and to talk at home, because we have to build resilience and have to assist each other in local communities. And then number 4, it's the mapping of the good examples. I was listening to Matt Holton in the beginning, talking about agriculture, and I like to connect that agriculture to my everyday life in fashion. But this is then the European Green Deal, and I'm really emphasizing we have to look at the global Green Deal and to learn from these structures. And what is really interesting here is the circular economy and how they're using the EU taxonomy, which is then addressing big multinational companies and governments according to climate impact. So, but back to this agriculture. Today I was inviting a gentleman from Zimbabwe who is planting trees in Zimbabwe. And Mr. Matt Holton, he was referring to generative and holistic agriculture. And that gentleman, who is Savory Institute, comes from Zimbabwe. And what you see here is a land to market. The land to market is in this reference not food, but it's in fact fashion products. So that's the soil to soil thinking in circular economy. So you have regenerative fashion brands. I think it's very important that a country like Pakistan know that we are voting with our buying power as a part of society. So all consumers have power in our pockets. So every time we're using some kind of a democracy and we are in a society to vote for what brand we like to support, also companies. So what kind of voting do we do every day? I like to emphasize that here I have a jacket. I'm not sure if you can, I'll wait to share it since I'm back. And then, but then back to this thing about digital twins. This picture is a neighboring city of Malta. We're working on the SDGs. So we're having all the measurement, and that is making a digital twin on the smart, sustainable cities. So we're developing the whole region in Norway, where I'm staying, together with the municipality and together with researchers to have these circles of all the digital measurement. And then again, talking with the municipality and the person in charge for smart city, smart village today. And the problem is that they need to make it into a public engagement. It's the same challenges all over the world. But here is again this digital twin. So you can see how they are augmenting the digital understanding of water, electricity, and all the SDG measurements. That's what I really wanted to say, that this is happening here. And when it comes to my recycling, or for example, this jacket is produced in China. So it's not water or soap, but it's the coal production in China. But what's new is really that it says animal free. It's animal free. And this is then also the tag is also, let me see the tag. It says 100% here it is. So this is recycled bottles, right? Yeah.
Great.
So you see, and that is different from this kind of fabric compared to my scarf, which is wool, or is it polyester? Polyester is microplastic, and that's creating pollution in the ocean through the wastewater system. So it's a complex issue of system complexity that is really, we're all learners, even if we are rich countries or poor countries.
Right. Thank you, Inger.
All in the same boat. Happy also with the
Good.
and to bring
Okay. Thank you, Inga. Thank you. Yes, Ms. Saraf, if you'd like to make comment.
Yes, Jana Saab, am I audible?
Yes, you are. Please go ahead.
Okay. Thank you. Thank you, Jana Saab, for your consistent efforts for Future for Pi Day for Pakistan and the climate change awareness through this webinar. Today, I would like to talk with all the panelists and the people who are listening live in perspective for Pakistan. There's this whole buzz of climate change. I meet the government officials, the civil society, the youth networks. I think a lot of awareness has been created, but I don't see the real practical implementation for climate change in Pakistan. Please, I request all the educated people right now who are in the panel today, I have one question for all of you today. Who is stopping you not to use the plastic bags if they are harmful to the environment? Who is stopping us, civil society, not to train our own people in our homes for the segregation of waste if you're talking about the role of society? Who is stopping us as a civil society to invest in solar panels if the rich people of Pakistan and people have a lot of money living in cities go on solar panels? Who is stopping the society? I see a lot of people driving hybrid cars, which causes air pollution in Pakistan. As educated people, dignified roles of civil society from Pakistan, we all know the consequences of climate change in Pakistan. We need to start from our own homes, from our own streets. You need to share the information with your neighbors, with your family, with your friends. We all need to be agents of change, starting from Raheen Fatma. She has to convey the message through her webinars, through her talks for this change. If we wait for the government, if we wait for the authorities to help us, that would not happen. Please, with 1 minute, just stay and think. If we all want to save Pakistan from the drastic climatic change, from floods, as Rahim was mentioning, this winter, the snow is early up in the northern parts of Pakistan. Climate change is everywhere. It's not just Pakistan. We need to take drastic steps ourselves. And we are very grateful to Inger, to Hans, World Climate School Norway, to collaborate the way Norway and Sweden are working. We have a long way to catch up. So I have a very strong message to convey to all the people sitting in their homes. It's COVID, you have free time. Educate your family, your friends, your servants, the civil society we live in. Start something from your own homes and share the success stories. You have 1 week as a homework I give you, all the participants today and the people who are listening. Show SDGs Academy the success stories, what you have done in 1 week for climate change. Have you collected garbage from your streets? Have you talked about it with your people around you? What have you done? So that is what I wanted to share with you all. Thank you, Jana Saab, for consistent efforts. And I hope that the homework that I've given and the people who have listened to my talk will start something on their own voluntarily. Thank you all so much.
I will say, yes, miss, I used to say in school. So, and we'll try to do the homework, it's, very rightly said. And that's, who is stopping us? And maybe we always say him, right? We don't say I, I'm stopping myself. Now, it give me a good lead to go toward my $1 million question, which I've been thinking over the whole week, that I'm going to ask this question to Adil Saab. Or on the lighter note, and I have to speak in Urdu for a little bit. ये हम जो कुछ कर रहे हैं ये wrong number तो नहीं है. Whatever we are doing, are we doing the right or we doing wrong, or maybe something missing? As Ms. Sarah said very right thing. It's everything is there, but nothing is like it seems to. Nothing is happening. We can't see anything happening. So your comment, whether we're doing the right thing, we're doing the wrong thing, or maybe we're calling a wrong number. So what is the right number? Yes, Adil Saab. So many questions to you.
Oh, thank you, Jana Saab. I don't know whether it's a $1 million question or not, until unless you can share me some of the $1 million to me also. Anyway, I think I would like to share my screen because I've developed just 4 slides. And it's a very, very basic thing which I wanted to share, and then I will discuss about it, that what all is this thing is. So there's a presentation, a small presentation, and starting from the climate change. Yes, so today we are discussing the climate change. Let's see climate change. What is the climate change? The climate change refers to significant long-term changes in the global climate. The global climate is the connected system of sun, earth and ocean, wind, rain and snow, forest, desert and savannas, and everything people do too. The climate of a place, say New York, can be described as its rainfall changing temperature during the year and so on. So just now, as Madam Sadaf said very rightly, there are nothing we are doing and everything. I just got a thought that whether this climate change and sustainability are joined together or they are the 2 separate things. Let's suppose if all over the world nobody throws garbage into the sea, will that stop the rising the sea, whatever the problems coming in the sea, the rising of the water and the snowfalls and the melting of the Arctic and Antarctica, will that go down? If we have a sustainable education, will that affect on all this climatic change? From the very first day, this is what global warming is. Most of the thing which is related to the climate change is related to the global warming. And there is the other side of the picture is the sustainability. That if you are looking good towards your education, if you are looking good towards your people, if you are looking good towards your sea and underwater life, then you have a sustainable life. But this climate change, can we stop this climate change? Can we minimize? What all we can do with this climate change? In next slide, you can see a very beautiful picture that the temperature of the world has ever been changing. It is going up and down. You can see the purple line. This purple line is showing the carbon dioxide concentration in the weather. It has gone down. It's strange for me too. I cannot thought of it that this concentration is going down since 4 billion years ago. But on the other hand, the temperature It is going up and going down and then going up and then going down. In the next slide, you can see a very clear picture that there is a time when the temperature is always high. It is approximately 8 degree high from the mean 17 degree and 7 degree down to the 10 degree centigrade. That's the world average temperature which is going on. Can we stop changing of this temperature? Maybe by not throwing the things, maybe by educating, maybe by other things. I don't think we can stop this thing. But we are in an era today. I think that's all. I'm stopped sharing this. Today we are in an era where we know what the future is going to be. Maybe 1,000 years ago or maybe 2,000 years ago, people might not be knowing that the things will be changing after this much of years. But today, the science has been advanced so much that we know that after 10 years, 20 years, 30 years, the Arctic will be totally melted. Because we know the satellite pictures we have seen the past pictures, we can see the present picture now, and we can make out that Arctic is going to be totally melted. At present, in 2008, I have done my master's, and in my master's, I have my thesis on Arctic. And the ice in Arctic was only, that area was only open for 4 months. And now, after 12 years, it is 365 days, it is open, the Arctic. So we cannot stop this change. But what we can do then, if we know that something going to be happen, the only thing we can do is to make some system to live with the new coming problems. Like if there will be a lot of hot weather coming in, maybe in Pakistan, maybe in Africa, maybe in somewhere, then we should start developing trees. Because probably if we have a lot of trees, then probably we can have more cooler weather in the city or maybe in some land area or somewhere. If there is a rise in water, what we can do? Can we make a wall at the sea? Can we make a higher wall all along the coast? We can't make it. Then we should start shifting towards the higher areas. In past, maybe thousands of years ago, people used to shift their places because of these reasons. The weather, the biggest reason for all the migration is the weather. And the second is the fights and all these things. So all over the world, people used to shift. But what we are doing at present, are we developing any system, anything? The civil requirement, yes, we have a very big question that what all the requirements the sustainability want. It is the requirement by the civil people. The civil life, they should be working what all we are doing. And I appreciate Mohammad Ali Jinnah Sahab and the Digital Academy, Sadar Sahiba, and everyone who all are working on it. We are developing a lot of awareness. But knowing that we cannot stop it, we are just developing the awareness that something bad is coming. Is there anybody who is working to develop a shield that bad, we can stop that bad? Do we have an umbrella that we can stop the heat of the sun? Nobody is developing it. I don't think whether in the world anybody is doing it or not. That if the rise of the water happens in the sea, what will happen to the land and how we can stop that thing? We cannot stop the rising water. It will rise because the ice will melt and the water will not go anywhere else out of this world. It will remain on the land and then it will change into the seawater and then that seawater will rise. We cannot stop that. What we can do, we can develop systems because now we are in an era that then we know that how we can live with one thing and we can fight with the other thing. So I think we are in the right direction in as far as we are educating people, we are telling people. But one thing more which I think we require is we should ask people to start working on the matter that how we can shield ourselves, how we can create resilience, as Dr. Tahir already said, that we need to develop resilience, we need to develop shields, we need to develop umbrellas to stop, to face, not to stop, to face the calamity which is about to come maybe in 10 years, 20 years, 30 years, 40 years, and it is keep on coming. We know in Karachi, The last year, the rainfall was high. This time it was higher, and next time it will be highest. Are we doing anything for the drainage? We are not doing anything. The same drain system, we are just cleaning it, and we think that it will be okay in the next rain. At present rain, we cannot have the complete water drainage. How we can think that the higher of this value we can cover the water drainage with this same drain system. So this is what I think. The direction is good, but we need to have another direction, and we need to separate. This is my personal feeling that we need to separate the climate change and the sustainability. The climate is a part of it, but sustainability is required for our future, for our kids, and it is something like rightly Mohammed Jinnah Sahab in the start said that sustainability is continuity. It is nothing like it is finished today. We have to develop a system that should be continued for a longer period. So I think that's all from my side. I hope it will create some new food of people.
I just like to give my 2 cents to what Al-Sahab has said. I think we'll have to adopt a multi-dimensional approach. First is we should try to create not awareness, but we should give practical incentive to people how to segregate their trash so that they can be beneficial to them. I think, you know about the project Waste Plus in Karachi. We are trying to do it in Islamabad also. So that will help us when we will build the resilience of the community to use trash for their money, right? So we'll talk, maybe next webinar, I like the contact person to talk about Waste Plus, so that at least we dispose of the waste not in a way which is being done right now. Because these are the same waste go to the gutters, the same waste go to the drainage. So if we control shopping bags and waste, all these things, I think we'll be controlling the damage. Second thing is, as I told you, that this bee, I've actually recently entered into the Shira. This honeybee it creates a resistance toward pollution. So we should try to invest in these activities. And thirdly, about climate change, I think in our neighboring countries there are sensors on the mountain area, on the right paths. The sensors tell us that in next 3 years' time, this will be the rain in this particular area. So 3 prone is working on the community, working with the partners, and again investing in technologies. And investing in technology is a long process, iterative process. So we should start immediately, maybe from tomorrow, of creating awareness first that what this damage is being done to us through this waste material. Second is to use the waste for the economic empowerment of the people through recycling. There are always ready-made solutions there. And the moment people will start taking trash as gold, but we commonly say, I think we will be going to the third direction. Third, we should try to create the right awareness in the government organizations to tell them their role and responsibility. I know you have been in the government, I have been in the government, and knowing their mindset, it's a difficult process because they start from the statement that what you have for us. And when you leave, they say, but you're going to give it to us. So this is a difficult situation, but we should keep on knocking. And SDG Academy and other initiatives, that actually we are doing it very rigorously with ministries, organizations. And the last is investing in technologies, latest technologies. Maybe in next webinar on the climate change, I will try to give a talk on the latest technologies being used to monitor the future. I must repeat, to monitor the future dangerous trends in a particular country. Because, the high rains doesn't come in isolation. It has some starting point, and that is from the seaside. You know it very well, better than me. Then second is the high water in the rivers, which destroys everything, does not come in isolation. It does again. So we can predict, because we have to put some sensors into a lot of areas, and we can save our people. This was my 2 cents. Over to you, please go ahead.
Thank you, sir. Thank you very much. We are just coming to end, but we have the new guest. This is the Shyline. Is it the right pronunciation? Please excuse me if I didn't pronounce well. Please introduce yourself. We are talking about. Can you unmute yourself, please? Yeah, can you unmute yourself? We can't hear you. Can you just unmute, please? Can you unmute, please?
Yes, thank you. Hello, colleagues.
Yes. Yeah, introduce yourself, please.
Thank you. My name is Kudakwashe Manyanga from Zimbabwe. I'm the founder of the Grow a Tree Foundation, which is a non-profit organization that seeks to build climate resilience in communities, cities, and schools across Southern Africa. I just prepared a 2-minute presentation to introduce what we do. I don't know if it's okay.
Yeah, please go ahead, yes.
Thank you. So I've just shared with you my screen here.
Yes, you can.
Can you see it?
Yes, we can.
Oh, that's Great Tree Foundation. Okay, so what we do is our mission is to promote climate change resilience, sustainable biodiversity conservation, and livelihood practices across Africa. We have been in operation for the past 4 years. Our vision is to have established model world climate smart cities, communities, and schools again in Africa by 2030. So we run at least 4 programs as Grow a Tree Foundation. The first one is to do with the schools climate resilience program. The second one is to do with climate change resilience program for communities, especially rural communities. And then we have what you call Green Cities program. And then the last one is the carbon offset program in the transport sector. So under the schools climate resilience program, what we do is we work with at least 100 students in secondary school who are in what we call Form 1s in our school system. So we provide at least 5 trees per child, and then we start profiling the growth of the child against the growth of the trees that we would have provided. So that translates to a minimum of 500 trees per school. And then we start profiling the life of the child as he or she is growing. We normally ask, what do you want to be as you grow up? Then he or she will say, I want to be a doctor or engineer. And then we see, are there any impediments towards this child achieving his or her dream? And then should there be need for assistance? That would be school fees, books, any other amenities that are necessary for her to achieve a dream. We provide what he or she needs. In return for that, he or she must look after the trees or nurture the trees that we provide. So across the country, we are putting 500 mini forests at each and every school. But mostly we put fruit trees. That's what we put. And then the second program that we run is the Climate Change Resilience Program for communities. So what we seek to do is to identify communities, what we call villages here in our setup, where we create model climate smart villages with all the technologies. I've seen what colleagues in Pakistan have done in terms of climate smart technologies. So we identify in each and every country what we can get, and then we then procure those technologies, and then we set them up for each and every community that is we are working with. So it can be water, solar-powered water irrigation systems. It can be biogas digesters. We will then set up solar-powered systems for processing of roadrunner chickens, fowl runs, and so forth. And then the setting up of what we call climate resilient infrastructure. So we put together resources using corporates, banks, and so forth to set up model climate smart villages across the country and in the SADC region. And then the third one, before the last one, is the green cities concept, where we seek to beautify our cities using trees and climate smart technologies. So what we do is we ask each and every citizen who has a birthday or any occasion that would want to make that occasion a green occasion. So should it be a birthday, we profile them, they buy a tree from us, which they plant in the city center or any public place in the city. That tree, we put an insignia to say this tree was planted by so and so on the occasion of his birthday. And then the tree is supposed to be owned by the individual, managed by the individual, and nurtured by the individual. Our job as Grow a Tree Foundation is to monitor the growth of the tree and ensure that it matures. And so we ensure that there is growth and nurturing of the trees that we plant. So we have citizens who come with birthdays, wedding anniversaries. They have, memorial in celebration of a life of a loved one, or it may be occasion of the loss of a loved one again. And so we have a number of trees that we actually end up having. And then the last one is, which I'm excited to share with you, is the carbon offset program. You realize, colleagues, that each and every day our activities are contributing to what we call carbon footprint. What you do in the morning, when you travel, when you drive your car, when you fly, you contribute each and every day to carbon emissions. So we are offering individuals who are environmentally conscious the opportunity to offset their carbon footprint each and every day, or organizations, by buying trees and offsetting for a journey. For example, if one is to travel to another city which is 500 kilometers away, this is equivalent to about cutting down close to about 9 trees which are mature. So one journey using a 2-liter diesel car or petrol car is equivalent to cutting down 9 trees, one journey from one point to another point, which is about 500 kilometers. So we offer individual the opportunity to plant trees in a way of offsetting their carbon footprint, so that they are able to plant trees and own these trees. So it can be individual, it can be corporates, it can be many other people. Then lastly, what we do is we promote value addition of what we call non-timber forest produce. Currently, we are working with our communities on the preparation of baobab plants. We produce a lot of trees, indigenous trees there, and we are processing baobab fruit. I don't know if in Pakistan or other colleagues are aware of baobab, but we process the pulp. We buy it from communities. We process it to produce what you see on the screen there, as well as the oil from the seeds. So we train communities on how to collect these fruits from the forests, how to manage the forests, to collect them organically. And then we bought machines that will help the communities to crush the fruits and process them to be able to have that quality for export. So what you see on the screen is oil from baobab seeds, which is used for hair regeneration and skin, and we export it. And then we have the powder, which is very high in vitamin C and calcium, and many other uses which they are value adding. So that lastly, what you see here are some of our nurseries across the country. To date, we have produced about 92,000 fruit trees and about 20,000 indigenous trees through the collection of seeds and seedlings across the country. So in short, this is us as Grow a Tree Foundation. We seek strong synergies and partnerships across the globe, and to be able to exchange some of these programs that we have. This is us as Grow a Tree Foundation. Thank you so much for the platform.
Janasa, can I just quickly comment?
Sure, ma'am. Please go ahead.
Yeah, thank you, Inger. I think you invited your colleague from Zimbabwe, I guess. And it's, you see, now the way he presented the presentation is just amazing. In Pakistan, you need to understand it's not just growing tsunami billion trees and then forget about those trees. You need to grow the tree, you need to treat it like a baby if you want that it should help in climate change in a real way, like they are doing in Zimbabwe. So thank you so much, Inger, for connecting us with them. And I would like to have a separate Zoom meeting with you and see how we can replicate the same in terms of Pakistan for the communities, for the grassroots communities in the rural areas. Thank you, Janasab. Go ahead.
Thank you.
Joseph, can add some value into it?
Sure, sir. Please.
Angad, really, as Sadaf said, it's an amazing partnership with Zimbabwe. It was an amazing presentation. I think, Jirasab, we should start something like own a tree, for example. Just a wild idea. We can link our students with the trees. I think this is Sadaf rightly said that it is no point that we grow the trees unless we protect it and take it to the level. I think I know you are short of time. Maybe what I could recommend is that you should take your guest from Zimbabwe in the next meeting also. And
sure,
should
sir.
have very, very focused. Before that, Sadaf rightly said we should have a one-to-one dialogue. And I think it's the right time when we link communities with communities. For example, let me give you an example. I was just thinking about when he was talking that maybe we can link one village of Pakistan with the one village of Zimbabwe, right? So it's a people-to-people contact. There is no need for involving governments or NGOs organizations, people-to-people contact. We can select some village from Pakistan and one village from Zimbabwe. No, these people are talking to each other. I know there would be a lot of language constraint, but I think in every village in Pakistan and every village of Zimbabwe, you can find one person who can understand English. So English can be the common language. So I think in the next Friday, just what you can figure out is the
sure,
practical session. Practical session. Everybody should give the sessions to combat the climate change in Pakistan. Thank you very much.
Thank you, sir. Thank you, Shaila. It's been, as Jafi Saab said, as our CEO, Mr. Sadaf Khalid said, it's very good presentation, and we definitely like to invite you the next show, the coming Friday. But we are going little, normally, the allocated time. But I like to use a couple of more minutes because it's a wonderful session we are having. So I like 2 minutes each from Hans and Dr. Tahir. So Hans, 2 minutes to comment, and then
Yes.
I'll come to Mr. Tahir. Yes, Hans.
Thank you. Well, first of all, I would say I am very inspired by this meeting as well. And I see there have been a lot of good and very constructive comments in the chat box. And I strongly recommend all of you to save and download the chat before this session closes. Among others, I would say that I put out a couple of things. First of all, the video mentioned about a video about kissing the ground is available in full at Netflix, if you didn't know that. Another thing is that Inge Mette and I put out links to all 3 of the lectures for Pakistan. You will find those also in the chat box. And finally, you were all talking very much about the need for local details about the situation in Pakistan. I can tell you the modules 2 and 3 of our 3 lectures are loaded with that kind of information. So watch the modules, especially 2 and 3 for local. For local challenges. Later on in the coming sessions, which modules which have not been published yet, there will be more about solutions. Yeah.
Thank you, Hans. Yeah, thank you, Hans. Dr. Tahir, your comment, and then I will go to the Captain Future are here. We are very lucky today. The Captain Future is here. So, Dr. Saab, Tahir Saab, please 2 minute comment, then I come to Captain Future. Yes, Tahir Saab.
I actually like the idea of developing this twin village concept. This is really would be interesting, collaborating the communities and sharing the partnership. So Africa is much further than the Asia or other continents because they were facing this problem many years or maybe many decades ago, what the other people in the other parts of the world started. So I see so many amazing sustainable solutions to those climate change problems and other issues. And I think because what we see basically, the person who has gone through this and developed some local solutions for that, not like the importing things from European concept and stuff, but like localized solutions. And partnershiping with these kind of communities and groups and associations can really help us a lot. So we don't have to invent the wheel again, but basically get those people on the board and I think learn from them. So I would really just end with this comment. And there was a wonderful discussion from all these people. Yeah.
Thank you, Dr. Saab. You know, we have Captain Future with us. How are you, Michael?
I'm good. I just came from a day-long conference here called Mind Shifts with people like Kuto Sharma and P.T. Senji and so many great people. So it was amazing to listen to them also.
Good. You know, I think after August, you know, we got a chance to see you. So what do you think, you know, how we are doing with this climate change in Pakistan?
How are you doing? How are you coming along?
Yeah. Your thought, you know, do you think we are doing good or anything we are missing or any advice from you?
No, like for the part I've been examining, it's like continue the global conversation around this. Don't go back to nationalists. Don't close borders like many countries are doing in many questions right now. We have to like continue, even if we don't travel, we have to continue to do it online digitally. So invite people from other parts of the world and join in conversations other parts of the world, even if it's not your time zone. Go up in the middle of the night or whatever. Just to keep the global conversation going.
Thank you, Captain. Thank you. Yes, Ms. Sadaf, you'd like to share something with us? Yes, Sadaf Khalid?
Janasa,
Yes,
we'll keep it for the next webinar as we're short of time. You can conclude. And thanks, Michael, for joining. Good to see you.
Okay, thank you. So now, you know, we come to an end. It's so good, you know, we really want to continue more, but I understand everybody have the commitment. So I would like to thank all of you and all, especially, you know, those people who joined us first time. So I would like to request the Shailen and the, you know, to join us again in the coming Friday. I'll share the details with you, and then, you know, I'll ask Inger to help us for the coming session. And Jafri Saab, you know, I would like you to, you know, just a few words and end the show. Jafri Saab.
This was very amazing. You know, that was very amazing for me because everybody spoke today from the heart, not from the mind. Sadaf said rightly said that we should start doing something. Anger said everybody. Our speaker from the Zambia, they actually, I think I'm seeing the recording of this webinar, and definitely, Janasa, please send me if you're recording it. I would ask the technical team to get it, and definitely I like to send it to the people with whom we are communicating at the government level, because today I received a call from Ministry of Science and Technology, and they're very much anxious to work with us. Definitely, we have to approach the government first, then we have to approach the communities first. And I will again strongly advocate the idea of linking our villages with villages of other countries. In Europe, in Zimbabwe, we should try to encompass different segments like African countries, like Asian countries, like European countries, because village to village contact will be very amazing, because then they can build their own relationship, and I think language barriers could be taken up. Thank you, Janasa. Please.
Thank you, sir. Raheen Fatma, your last comment, and then we do the end the show. Your last comment, how the everything went today, Raheen Fatma.
Honestly, it was amazing today because I feel there's a lot of us that have come to come together. Some of us living in different parts of the world, some from the different parts of the world. So I feel like us coming together is something that's just so beautiful. Then talking about how the problem is, discussing it, and then also coming up with the solution, and also coming up with how we can solve it. So we're not just sitting here and just talking that, you know, there's so many problems in life. So I feel like it's a very productive session. that has taken place, and I would love to be part of it as long as I have the permission from you.
No, you will. You will. Thank you.
Rahim, we never shared that with the same type of the cap.
Yes.
True. We've never actually shared that, but today we are wearing the same cap. मैंने तो अब्बा की चोरी कर ली जल्दी से.
Even if I want, I can't wear it in Karachi. We can never wear it in Karachi.
Oh yeah.
So yeah. So anyway, thank you very much. Thank you all, and hope to see you coming week. Thank you. Bye bye.
I request that may we all plant trees on our birthday and post it on our pages, please. I beg you, plant trees on a birthday. Want to see them?
I will. I'll promise you. I will. Thank you. Thank you very much. Bye. Good night.